Hello friends, my name is Ramasu. Today we shall discuss about topic the velocity concept. That what is the concept of velocity in a Scrum framework? Friend, today's topic is very interesting, especially if you have interest in project management, software development, and Scrum framework. So let's start, friend. Friend, first of all, we have to understand that what is a Scrum. Scrum is basically the based on concept of agile project management, in which we divide the overall work of a project into multiple chunks, and each chunk contains the planning, development, testing, and deployment, and that chunk is called as sprint. Sprint is a 3 to 4 week time period actually, which is a iteration, and with each iteration we complete the work of a project, and when all the iterations or sprints are completed, the project will be completed. So now, what is sprint actually? It is a tool for the team to understand their capacity and improve their estimation and planning process over time. Velocity is expressed in story points, which are a unit of measure representing the relative efforts required to complete a user story or task. Now, what is a user story actually? User story is a feature of a product. For example, a customer can sign up in the product, so that is a user story. Customer can do the payment through a credit card or a debit card. This is another feature, so this is another user story. And what is a story point? A story point is the basically effort required to complete a feature. Now, story point is a different concept as compared to the man days effort. Man days effort is basically called as the effort which is required by a one man to complete a task. Now, the story point is basically the relative effort. Relative means that we compare one feature with the another feature, and based on the complexity we assign a point to that story. For example, just think of that. For example, customer can sign up into the e-commerce solution. This is one story. This is one feature required, and another feature required that customer can do the payment through credit card and debit card as well. Now see, we can say, for example, that the sign up functionality is less complex as compared to the payment functionality through credit card or debit card. So for example, if we say that one story point is required to build a functionality for sign up. Okay, so in that case we can say the two story points for the functionality required for payment through credit card and debit card. So this is basically the concept of a story point. Velocity is basically the total story points we complete in each sprint. For example, if we complete three features in one sprint of 5 story points each, so we can say the total velocity is the 15 for the Scrum team. Now first is the definition. Friend, velocity is the sum of the story points completed by the Scrum team during a sprint. It represents the team's productivity and helps in predicting how much work the team can accomplish in future sprints. Okay, so that means the total story points we complete in a sprint is called as the velocity, and it also basically based on that we can we know that how much is the speed, how much work a Scrum team can complete in a sprint. Now story points, friend, story points simply is the first of all we have to understand what is story. Story is the basically the feature required, and points are the relative measure emphasizing the complexity, effort, and uncertainty involved in a particular piece of work rather than focus on the absolute time. Remember that a story point is a different concept as compared to the man days effort. Okay, then the calculation, simply see, for example, if there are 3 stories in a sprint, for example 5, 8 and 13, so these are the 3 stories of a story points in a sprint which have been completed. So the total velocity of the team is sprint is 26, like 5 plus 8 plus 13. So in that way the velocity is 26. This is the way to for calculation. Now the consistency. Friend, velocity provides a measure of consistency and helps the team understand its capacity as well. Most important thing is that we can measure that how much work a team can complete, and it also shows the capacity and the consistency level as well. Here, remember that it's not important delivering more points, but about delivering a consistent amount of points sprint over a sprint. For example, if you are thinking that if we increase this velocity, so that means the productivity will also increase. However, it is not true. The major important thing is the consistency of velocity or story points which we deliver in each sprint. Predictability means that teams and stakeholders can use velocity to predict how much work can be accomplished in future sprints as well. For example, if we can deliver 26 story points in one sprint, so we can assume we have some predictability that okay, in the next sprint we can achieve 30 story points or 35 story points. So this is basically a way of productivity as well. Then improvement metrics means velocity serve as a valuable metric for continuous improvement as well, because team can analyze the velocity over several sprints to identify trends, spot areas of improvement, and refine their estimation and planning process as well. Because with the passage of time you will realize that through these ways you can improve the estimation as well. Obviously when you start, the estimation will not be so much accurate, but with the passage of time it will be improved. Team autonomy, remember that friend, the velocity cannot be used to compare one team with another team, because each team may use different estimation techniques and have varying capacities and skill set as well. So velocity doesn't mean to use comparison within teams, because each team is unique and they are using different and unique estimation techniques for velocity. Volatility means that teams might experience volatility in their velocity due to changes in team composition, technology, domain complexity, and other factors. Obviously, friend, if you are working on one technology in which you are hands on, you have a complete understanding and knowledge about that technology, so you can complete more story point and more work. Obviously if you are working on some technology in which you are not hands on or you don't have this required skill set, so obviously the work complete will be less. Estimation accuracy means the velocity helps in assessing the accuracy of the team's initial estimates. If the team consistently overestimates or underestimates the amount of work they can complete, adjustments can be made to improve estimation. Adaptability means velocity is not a fixed or set value. It evolves as the team learns and adopts. It provides a dynamic measure of the team's capacity and can be used to make informed decisions during sprint planning. So friend, it's important to note that while velocity is a valuable tool, it's not the only metric teams should focus on. Collaboration, communication, and continuous improvement are equally crucial aspects of a successful Scrum implementation.